All right, it is a Thursday morning, and that means Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center, our weekly call-in show. And we have with us, of course, Ms. Rachel Fender. Hi, Rachel.
Good morning.
And we know that what's that guy's name? Matt, yeah. Matt mentioned to us last week that he wasn't going to be in, but we're always happy to have Zach Nickel with us.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me.
So many tons of videos that you've did over the last several months.
Yeah, we've been pumping them out. That's for sure.
Yeah, lots of good info though.
We have a backlog of them too, so there'll be more to come, I'm sure.
I love that.
Yours are like real funny. You're kind of funny. I'm all like serious,
but you're good too. You're good too. I love it.
I have a hard time being serious. Is one of my flaws, I would say.
That's not a flaw.
I try. So
it probably works out.
I mean,
sometimes I have a hard time.
Probably wouldn't
balance it out.
Just depends on where you are.
True.
Yeah.
But at a funeral, probably not. But.
That is true.
Maybe I'll drop like a couple of appropriate jokes, but I won't.
Then again, I have to tell you, Dr. Stan Anderson, who is he's on with us every Wednesday morning and has been for 15 years, gives us all of our health updates and gives us information. He talked on Wednesday about laughing and how it's one of the healthiest things you can do.
Yeah.
Really?
So see?
I've always heard
I'm
that.
doing it right then.
So
Yes.
I don't feel as bad.
it's nice to know that there's medical, proof to back that up.
Yeah, I've heard it too. I said my mom, she's always wanted to be a stand-up comedian in her next life. And so she's always telling jokes, constantly telling jokes. And she is proof positive that humor is like a great way to get through
It keeps things fun.
It does, and lighthearted and not stressful. And
and I've always heard that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
Oh, see there?
That's why I'm always smiling.
See?
It's less effort.
I like it. Well, again, folks, you can give us a call today at 330-450-1480. You can send me an email, pcook@whbc.com. If you have any questions. We talked about this last week, Rachel. I think, this is the time of year for people to plan, right? This is when I should be planning.
Yeah, a lot of time. Yeah, because, really, you kind of have a blank canvas, too. And right now, our guys are open, and now's a good time to be calling and getting ahead if you want to, schedule something. Even now is a good time just to talk if you have pictures or anything. It is a good time to be planning.
It's going to be cold and snowy this weekend, so sit indoors and do something.
Yeah, get a cup of tea, get the
Yes.
seed catalogs
Sketch it
out.
out.
And
sketch it out.
Sketch it out,
Look at
yeah.
pictures that remind you of what it'll be in a few months. And
I always like to kind of go back and like through vegetable gardening and stuff, and I kind of keep notes of different tomatoes I've tried and things that I liked, didn't like, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
And I know we've talked about this before, Zach, but you garden, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, anything new you're thinking about for the upcoming year, or
I have kind of
anything you're going to ditch?
Yes. I've kind of streamlined my garden into just doing the things that I know are just going to be,
good, right,
straightforward,
produce.
Easy. I've tried a lot of different things that are just like, I'm not good. Like, I've had a lot of people that have luck with watermelon. Myself, every time I don't know what I do wrong. I follow everything to the book, and then I get like 2 of them. And you know what I mean? I open them up, and I'm just like, these are the worst water. I would I go to Amish country and just get them from them.
Yeah.
The Amish know what they're doing with the watermelons. I don't know what I do wrong, but
you need a lot of space for them.
You do. They
So
take
tell
up a
me
lot of
about
space.
planting watermelon. How does that work? You do it from seed, or what do you do?
You can do it either way. There's starters, or you can do it from seed. But the issue is that they just spread out really far, and they obviously, I know this sounds obvious, but they take a lot of water. So I mean, they take a lot of water. So it looks like you're doing well at first. You have like you have a bunch of little guys coming up, and then like a month later, you're like.
And it was really dry too this past, so I'm sure that didn't help.
You got to stay on top of it. So I'm kind of like straying away from those. I'm just going. This year I'm doing like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers.
Yep, the
easy
basics,
stuff that I don't have to
the good
really
stuff.
do much with, and I know it's just going to give me what I want.
So, Rachel knows, basil is like one of my favorite things to grow, but I can't grow a basil plant. I did it one year that it was
Some
like
of them are
bush, but
There's a lot of different types of basil.
So Matt's going to bring me one that is almost, it's foolproof.
There's a new
one
variety.
coming.
I don't know exactly what it's called, but there are other varieties that I did one last year, and I've done it before, but it's called Perpetuo basil, and it's a variegated one, so it's really pretty too.
Cool.
But it has a great flavor, and it doesn't flower. a long time to flower.
Okay.
So, and it seems to be more disease resistant than others. But
Yeah.
like your sweet basil and the like Genovese, they're sometimes tough. I've had problems with them too. So you're not alone.
that one year that I got a giant, it was like the best year of my life.
Yeah.
a lot of it's the weather too.
Because you never know. You don't know if
always
you're
blame the
watering
weather.
too much or not watering enough. You know?
You have to like kind of ride the line with them. You know what I mean?
You do.
And like, them flowering is like a pain in the butt too, because sometimes you let them go for a little bit, they start flowering, you're
Yeah.
like, oh crap. So I mean, like,
What happens when they flower? What should
It
you
does.
do?
You should, when you start to see most of your herbs flowering, that you want to pinch the flowers back, because it does change the taste, because
Yeah.
most of that energy is going
It's
into
bitter.
the flower.
It
So then it makes
gets
the
bitter,
leaves
like.
bitter. Yeah. So it's important to kind of pinch them back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are varieties of basil that and other things too that are like kind of more ornamental that will attract pollinators and
Yeah.
stuff. There's a basil called African Blue, and it's a really pretty one. And I'm sure you can eat it, but it's probably got a bitter taste to it. But it's more ornamental, and
Yeah.
it's got like, and you want that to flower, and the bees just love it.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, so I
Wow.
sometimes plant that around too, and it's pretty.
And you
so.
said the word variegated.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Oh, well,
Tell-
yeah,
tell
I guess
folks who don't know what
that
that
is
means.
true. Yeah, it means that it has two different color leaves. It's usually
Oh,
green and
okay.
white. Yes.
Okay.
It's, so like a lot of there's variegated iris or variegated hosta is one of the
Hostas,
common
yeah.
ones that you
Yeah.
recognize. So when you hear that word variegated, it usually means that it's white and green or green and yellow, something like that. So if
Okay.
it has two-tone leaf.
All right. So what is your favorite, Zach? What is your favorite thing to grow?
out of like everything,
Yeah.
I would say honestly, I like growing tomatoes.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I think that it's
They're rewarding.
Just, yeah, you get a lot. I mean, this year it was probably one of the best years I had because it stayed so warm until like
Yeah.
almost November. I mean,
Yeah, it really did.
And then we got snow.
Yeah, we did.
And then
unfortunately.
just
But I had great luck. I mean, I was able to store a lot for the winter and like jar a lot.
That's
I do a lot
good.
of canning and stuff like that too. So I
For
mean, this
you.
year was like
Great.
was nice. So
Yeah.
tomatoes and peppers are kind of like my go-to because I have a 2-year-old, so unfortunately, like the extra stuff I would get a little bit more experimental with growing. I just am like, I don't
don't-
want to
yeah.
do it. Maybe in a few years, but
Yes.
like right now, she comes out and helps me do the tomatoes. The
Aw.
tomatoes are easy, the cucumbers are easy. It's straightforward stuff. But I did get one really cool thing last year, and I tried to like bring it inside, and it unfortunately didn't work. But I got like this bonsai basil.
Oh.
And
Oh.
it's a
I
small.
do remember you
leaf.
talking about that.
They're
Yeah.
really cool. And I tried to I cut it back at the end of the fall and I kind of like shaped it up and it was really cool. And I was like, I'm going to bring it inside and try to like winterize it. And unfortunately it did not pan out well. It's hard to like,
It's
it's
very-
very hard. I knew it was going to happen, but it was such a cool, I had
Yeah.
it trimmed like a bonsai tree and it had very small leaves and it had a very like strong flavor to it. So it was really good for
Oh.
cooking, but unfortunately not
That
transfer
basil.
very
See,
well.
that basil,
Yeah.
it just has to torture
hard.
all of us.
Yeah.
and it
Unfortunately.
is an annual. I mean, really, no
Yeah.
matter where
Right.
you're at, it is an annual,
Yeah.
even in Florida and that kind of stuff. So, and they can just get a longer season of it sometimes.
Basically, yeah.
but eventually it does go.
It
downhill.
croaks.
I always liked cherry tomatoes, growing
Yeah.
cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
When I lived down south, I had a garden, and I had the peppers.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying, peppers and tomatoes were the thing. But the very first time I ever tried growing tomatoes, I did it in that bag
Oh, yeah.
that you hang upside
yeah.
down.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I
Those
was
are
like,
cool.
this is cool as
I
heck.
want- We need to bring that back around because that really was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Those are super cool.
It
Yeah.
made it easy as heck.
yeah, it
And
really did.
and I got just enough. I didn't need a big crop of them. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
you
I
get
got
what you need from it, and
Right.
especially if you have a
Especially-
few of them, you get a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
yeah,
It was
and
fun.
cherry tomatoes. I mean, they're heavy producers anyway. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
That might
used
have to. I might have to revive that if I can
Yeah,
find a
that's a good
sunny place
idea.
somewhere.
I love those. I love the flower bags too. You can get
Oh,
them
yeah.
in like,
Yeah.
the early summer.
Yeah.
Like, I think we had
Those
some
are
of
good
them.
for strawberries.
Yeah,
too.
they're great. Oh yeah, the strawberries we had at the nursery a couple years ago. We had we got these really cool strawberry pots in, and they were probably like yay high, like yellow, and had,
Yeah, I remember those.
Like
Yep.
8 layers of. I love the strawberry pots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Strawberries are another thing that
Yeah.
if
They're
you get them to
tricky.
go, they're awesome. But man, they are tough to get going.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
the usually they need thinned out after a couple
Yeah.
years. Like the mother plant stops producing, and then it's the baby plants. Then.
Yeah.
So you have to thin it out and keep the deer away and and the
Yeah.
chipmunks. And
It's another one of those things that I end up just like getting from the Amish usually.
yeah, yeah,
That's right. And you know what's funny? So I sit and listen to, people call in. By the way, you can call in if you want to, 330-450-1480. And there are so many people who are so dedicated to their gardens, like Al,
Yes.
who calls in all the time. And growing garlic, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a chore. It's
yeah.
a chore, sort of.
kind of. I mean, it is. It can be easy.
I mean,
but
patience.
to get. Yes,
There's a process,
There you go.
right?
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
that- yeah.
yeah. There's you have to wait a lot.
Yes.
Asparagus is another one.
Oh,
I
yeah?
think this
It's like
year.
isn't it like 3 years?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and you should be able, and you see it every year, but it's just they're real
Yeah.
teeny tiny, so
It's
you have
patience.
to give it a couple
Yeah.
years to. But the
Again.
plant itself is easy.
We head to a farmer's market, and I get that.
Well, it kind of makes sense why asparagus is so expensive. You know what I mean? Because you're
Right.
like, okay, it's like, it takes a while to get it going.
Yeah.
So if you can get like good asparagus, it's like,
Because
it's
I
worth
would be
it.
You need a
growing that
patch,
if
yeah.
it was easier. If it was,
It's not necessarily like
it's
tough.
not hard,
it's
but
just
it's
the
just you gotta
patience
wait.
of getting
And
to
giving
the
it a
point.
good patch, yes,
Yeah.
and giving it some air.
Yeah.
And it's not the prettiest plant, so
No, it's not.
Kinda,
It's not very visually appealing, unfortunately.
no, it goes. Yeah, I have some in the back of the garden.
Yeah.
so. But this year I should be able to get a little bit. Like last year, I think we got like we each got to have like couple
couple sprigs.
pieces.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, we're going to take our first break right now. Of course, if you want to give us a call, you can do that. 330-450-1480. Send an email to pcook@whbc.com. It is Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. right, 18 minutes now after 9 on this Thursday morning. It is Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. Rachel and Zach are here today. Matt has the day off today. Well, the day away from us today.
Yes. Yeah.
And Zach, I'll say, he's probably going to be very busy this weekend, as are you,
Unfortunately, yes.
because of the snow, right?
Yeah, it's going to be bad. Well,
Yeah.
they're saying it's going to be like 10 to 12 inches, possibly more.
No.
Really?
No, it's not that much.
my.
6 inches.
I hope
For us.
I hope it's like 3 to 4 inches.
Yeah.
That's what I want because
Right now it's sitting at 3 to 6. Other places are higher. For us locally, 3 to 6, but that could change. It could all
That's-
change by
Well, 'cause
Saturday night.
like they said it was going to snow like all week, and then they keep pushing it back, and so you never know. We're
No.
just
You don't.
we're ready to go whenever, but
See there, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it too late for people to sign up for plowing?
at this point, yeah, usually sometimes if in certain circumstances maybe we can do like some like call-in, but really at this point in the year we're pretty backed up with our customers,
Yeah.
and especially it's hard with we have everything like pre-organized with our routes and stuff like that, so we're all good to go. But it's usually good to get in like earlier, what
Yeah.
I mean. Then January is like a little bit
Right.
late with that,
You know what happens though? It doesn't snow, and then people don't think about it. And
Yeah.
then all of
no.
a sudden, oh no, I need some help.
Yeah.
Their
kind of thing.
Get me
defense,
outta here.
the last few years, I would understand. I mean, it hasn't really been that
It
bad.
really
Right.
hasn't. No,
You know?
yeah.
So like last year, I think we went out like 2 or 3 times,
Wow.
and we've gone out more in like a week this year than we had all year last
Wow.
year. So this year is definitely a little bit of an old school winter. You know
I'd
what I
rather
mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
it snow though because
too.
it seems to be a little bit like warmer.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
mean, if
snow
that-
so much when it's,
It's
real,
not
real
as
cold.
nasty
Yeah,
in terms
yes,
of like
that bitter cold.
I got 2 dogs, so like they love it outside when it's snowy, but like it's hard when it's like a wet, muddy winter. You don't really want to do anything. I like the snow.
That is-
but
Yeah, I don't mind the
obviously,
snow. I don't.
Like
No,
a foot
I'd
maybe is a
rather-
little bit too much.
Yeah. I always wonder about the people who live up along, like in Ashtabula. I mean,
I do
they're
too.
getting feet of snow all the time.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
with as short of a distance as it can be between us and them. I mean,
It is crazy what a difference that is.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
My even my wife, she works up at Akron General, and it's like, I mean, it's 25 minutes away, and she's sending me pictures, and it's like
the difference.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
are right on that line.
Yeah.
We're on
We
that
are.
line. The lake effect comes down, and sometimes it hits us, sometimes it misses us. But
Yeah. And-
it was one of the things I learned when I first
Yes.
came here many moons
Yeah,
ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
In fact, when you look at when we talk about zones and your planting zones, we are literally right on a line. So
Yeah.
a lot of times they reconfigure it every couple years or so, and they do say that we're like zone 6.
Yeah.
But I still kind of recommend like more of a zone 5,
Yeah.
like anything from 5 and under, just because if we do have a very, very cold winter, it can knock out one that's a little bit
Yeah,
more.
it's very circumstantial.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're planning stuff, I mean, obviously maybe if it's like a one-off or something like that,
Yeah.
we still are at the risk of getting that heavy snow and
Yeah.
cold. I mean, we're just like she said, we're right on that line. So
Yeah.
it's better to plan in case
Yep.
we do end up in a
Right.
year like this year.
And here
where
we are.
Yeah, here we
obviously-
are. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be. We'll see how bad it is, but we're definitely planning on being out for a while. this
Yes, yes, this weekend. We'll see. Like you say,
Yeah.
because I'm always interested, having, sitting here in the mornings saying, okay, I want to tell you we're going to have this amount of snow, and then see what actually comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come Saturday, because that'll be
Could
very
be more,
interesting.
could be less, but I'm definitely expecting
You're
some
prepared.
intense snow. So maybe
Yeah.
some sled riding next week.
Wow, see,
That'd be fun.
and the cold weather that we're getting, this cold that's coming
That's-
through, that's coming through first.
Yeah.
and then the snow is behind
It's going to
it.
be cold
oh,
too.
oh.
That's what
Yeah.
I don't like. I mean,
3
which I don't
below
think anybody
0.
likes that. That's
Overnight tomorrow night into Saturday morning. That's without the wind chill.
Yeah.
You know,
gonna be
so
brutal.
it will be very cold. This is a good weekend. We kept talking about that earlier, about sitting in the house. and-
yes, good indoor
Planning.
Yeah,
activities.
don't go
Yeah.
outside unless you have to.
Yeah,
because it's not gonna
exactly.
be fun.
Again, we are here, and if you want to send me an email, pcook@whbc.com, I'll ask questions for you of Zach and Rachel. And also, you can call us if you want to just call and say hi. Tell us what you're going to do this weekend, 330-450-1480. Or are you planning things, that is one of my favorite things to do, is to like sit down and think about the summer. And,
Oh yeah.
the outdoor
Daydreaming.
space is just like the most awesome thing in the world, right?
Yes,
is.
yeah, and to be able, I can't wait to be able to sit outside and after work and
I
just
know.
listen to the birds and
Yeah, around this
So-
time, once it's past Christmas,
You're done with
I'm
it.
done with. That's
You know, we have January, February, and March,
I know.
though.
I try
Yes,
to think
yeah.
about it. It's just I want to fast forward a little bit, but yeah, I'm very excited for it to not be -5 degrees or whatever it's going to be. This.
Yeah, I know it. So once we get through this, and I know Matt talks about it all the time, like you start to get these truckloads of things.
Oh yeah.
What keeps you busy, Zach? What keeps you busy?
Oh man, well, it's like when it rains, it pours. Usually there's really not much going on. Once we hit February, though, we start getting like the big trucks of trees in. You know what I mean? Like we get a lot of stuff in, and it kind of just keeps snowballing. No pun intended. From there on out.
Very good.
Once like end of February, it's oh yeah, there you go. It starts being a lot more. I mean, maybe I'm just weird, but I love once we start getting trees in, and even they're huge trees, but that's when I love it. You know what I mean?
It feels like
yeah,
it's
it
time.
is. Yeah.
Seeing the new inventory, I'm sure Rachel feels the same way when you get see the new stuff you're getting in.
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
get very
exciting. You can
excited.
plan on we get a lot of really cool stuff, but we get it a lot earlier than a lot of people expect
Yeah.
us to. You know what I mean?
We get a lot of the bigger things and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's-
Around usually mid to late February is when it starts rolling.
Yeah, and Matt
in,
always
so.
says that's because it helps with the adjustment period, right?
Yes, yeah. That way they can wake up, when in their naturally.
Dormancy,
Yes,
yes.
because a lot of
process as opposed to like a shock. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I love it, and it's just it starts warming up a little bit. But yeah, we get to
Yeah.
really see the beginning of spring, and that's the trucks basically signify to me, okay, we're starting.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank God. So
Yeah.
very fortunate. It's fun, and I can't wait to see what we get in this year. So
Yeah,
it'll
that
be fun.
should be very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always exciting.
I had mentioned earlier that both of you had. I was talking about the videos that you guys have made.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me some of the stuff you did videos on.
Oh
for
my gosh.
folks.
Oh,
You were-
this year, oh man, I think we did some on winterizing plants. Pretty much every shrub that you can think of. We
yeah, you did
basically-
a lot of highlighting of shrubs of the week kind
Yeah,
of
shrubs
thing.
of the week, cool new stuff, maybe ideas for your garden, how to prune. That's a big thing that we've been trying
Yeah.
to focus on, how to what
Yeah.
to trim or angle to prune stuff at. It's just we're basically next year we're going to be doing the same kind of thing, just kind of throwing a shrub of the week your direction. Maybe it's something that might work for you, because it's one of those things where it's hard to when you're planting your own garden, we're around this stuff all day, so we get to see everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, for if you're on the outside of that, you might want just some
Yeah,
random
an example.
recommendations
Yeah.
without it being if you ask us what we like, it's going to be a list of
Yeah, that's
everything,
always a loaded question.
so
So.
with that, we can be like, hey, this is cool. This might work for you. And then you
Yeah.
don't have to listen to us talk about it for 10 minutes. Maybe a 30-second video. Hey,
That's
this
it.
is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straightforward.
And sometimes you're there's really cool things that you might see just
Yeah.
shopping, and you're not sure if it's going to work. Because sometimes
Yeah.
if they look really cool, you think, that might not
hard to
be.
say.
It might be
And-
sensitive.
That's
But a
right.
lot
Are
of
they
times
hard
they're
to
not.
grow? Are they easy to grow? What is it?
That's why we like the short form content where you can just be like, oh, okay, that might work for me. And then come in, and if you have any more questions, obviously call us or stop on in.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of what you do?
Of the whole thing
Yeah.
encompassing job, I would say I like talking to people. So I like
That
help,
is not the answer I expected.
but
But,
I like,
but I should have.
I like helping people out, and I feel just my favorite thing is in the middle of the summer, people come in and ask me, hey, I have this 10 by 10 spot or whatever, and I like helping people figure out what would look best. You know what I mean?
Designing it.
Designing,
Yeah, in
it's
a way.
fun, just kind of. And
Yeah.
then when they come back later and they're like, "Hey, it ended up working out well," I love that. you know?
Yeah, I do love
that's-
hearing feedback.
Yeah.
And how did that do? And
Yeah, that's what it's all
or
about,
people bring
so.
in their pictures of you helped me with this last year, the year
Yeah.
before, and this
And
is what it looks like
That's
now.
To
great.
see
It's
it
always
in
fun
its
to
final
see.
stage or come to fruition is
Yeah,
fun.
because a lot of
Yeah.
times you don't know. You wonder when they leave. Hey, I wonder how that turned out.
Yeah,
Did
exactly.
they actually do it? And
Yeah.
And how
And
did it
worked.
turn out?
That's the
And
big thing.
Yeah, did it
So,
work?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, because it's a lot of the time people are doing the front of their house, so it's going to be something that everybody sees, and people really take pride in that. And I think it's fun
Yeah.
to see it. Yeah, in the finished product of it.
And you were talking about pruning. We'll talk about that. We're going to take our break because I want to talk a little bit about pruning when we come back.
Sounds good to me.
We'll break for the news. And again, this is Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. All right, it is a wonderful Thursday morning. Let's grow together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. Rachel and Zach are here. And again, you can give us a call if you have any questions or thoughts, 330-450-1480. Send me an email. I'll ask a question for you. There are no stupid questions. No. pcook@whbc.com. All right, so pruning. Let's talk about pruning because there was a time when I was like afraid to prune. I didn't know. And
it can be intimidating.
Yeah, I had a person say, "Do not fear the pruner. You got to do it."
Yes.
Is that what you guys run into? People are afraid to do it.
A lot. I think.
Yeah, more than you think, and a lot of it's just on how you prune.
Yeah. Because it is very situational, and there's a lot of different ways to prune certain things. But the big thing is most things really, really benefit from pruning. Now, obviously, there's certain things that don't like it as much, but honestly, most plants are going to like some sort of pruning. Now, it's important to ask questions or find out when the best time to do it is or how much to cut it back. But it is something that most of the time you should be doing. And a lot of people are afraid of it, like they're going to kill the plant, but they're more resilient than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And cutting out dead wood dead growth from anything is always a good idea.
Yeah.
So that's,
You guys said it's like getting your hair trimmed.
yes. Yep.
You know,
Cutting your
it
nails,
helps
cutting
it.
your hair. It's good for the plant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even, with houseplants and that kind of stuff, that being said, ficus and, just other ones that can kind of get a little crazy. Some people overwinter hibiscus and that kind of stuff. It is a good idea just to prune them back, and they will get a lot bushier, and you'll be a lot happier with it.
Yeah.
So.
And that, when I learned that, then it made it more fun. Because if you're scared or mad that, then it's not fun. And that's not what it's supposed to be. Right.
No,
absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously, maybe I'm biased because we do it all day during the summer, but I love pruning stuff because once you start doing it,
You're
you realize
cleaning and freshening,
and
right?
you can shape up the way it's going to grow and kind of, it's fun.
And you just, the basics of it, you just want to make sure you're using sharp pruners, because it can, sharp cut, that way it's nice and clean and it can heal. And just make sure that, you cut basically right above the leaf set or the node, you don't want to cut that node off.
Yeah.
Just kind of right above that at an angle. And that's kind of the basics of it, to be honest. So.
I have a bush that's right outside of my screened-in porch, and it's a little, it was a little misshapen when I moved into the house. And so then, I just started pruning and then I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? But then
I've done that
it
too.
is now just such a beautiful bush.
And you're glad you did it.
I am so glad I did
Yes.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I do it every year.
Yeah, and that way it'll keep it kind of maintained and keep that nice shape and stuff. Because sometimes when they do get kind of out of control, you do want to kind of do it in stages.
Yes.
So you don't shock it. And depending on what it is, sometimes you can go crazy.
Yeah.
So like a
Sometimes
butterfly bush or
yeah.
something, you can be like,
Yeah,
Some things you can really just chop in
Yeah,
half,
but
basically.
like
There's other things you
evergreens,
kind of
that
got to be a
kind of
little bit more
stuff,
finicky with what you do.
yeah.
Just start slow and do what you think you need and that's good, Plus, it depends on the weather, it depends on the time of year, right? Doesn't pruning depend on all of that?
Yeah, and also what the plant is the big one. Because there's some things that benefit more so from, there's some things that you want to prune early spring, late winter, and then there's other things that would benefit from pruning after they're done blooming. But it just depends on what the plant is. But overall, it's something that you want to I would say before you prune it, figure out the best time to be pruning that specific plant or shrub, because you don't want it to be an all-encompassing just chop it in half, because it might be something you want to be a little bit more careful with.
Yeah. And usually a good rule of thumb is stay away from the extremes, extreme heat, extreme cold, those kinds of things.
And plus,
don't do
I think I always talk about my magnolia tree, and that's something that you have to be careful because it gets the little blooms on it.
Yes.
And so you do it after it blooms, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most things you do, right after, especially shrubs and stuff, right after they're done blooming.
Like you have to catch it though. It's like I got to stand in my driveway and wait for it to be ready.
Yeah. You got to get it at the right time.
And sometimes there is, you can't really, you just have to prune when you can.
Yeah.
So you just have to realize that you're going to probably lose some flowers, or not get flowers the next season.
Right.
But
There might be something that you end up losing. Is there anything that you should absolutely not prune? Are there things that you should not prune?
Certain types of hydrangeas,
Yes.
are a little bit harsh with pruning. Macrophylla, oak
Which-
leaf, you
yeah.
know, like you really don't want to be pruning them hardly at all because it's going to stunt the blooms.
Yeah, the macrophyllas are like your endless summers
Yeah.
and the ones that have the bigger round blooms, the
Okay.
big glossy leaves that are usually like sticks right now.
Yes,
So they
yes.
bloom on like old and new wood. So a lot of
Okay.
times it looks like you would want to cut it down.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
it
that
does.
It does. Big
I think
time.
I have those. I know I have those.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
tempting because like with
They look like
hydrangeas,
it.
like Bobos or Pinky Winkies or ones that are just kind of, you know, you can just chop them off and they're good. But like with the Macrophylla specifically, they're a little bit more finicky. So it is important to like research a little bit or call and ask us, and we can just literally just tell you, hey,
Yeah.
prune it here, you know, prune it then. It makes it a little bit easier on you.
What about all those brown sticks? Like, what do you do with them?
Leave them until this spring usually.
Okay.
So and usually that's when you're going to start to see the buds kind of swell. You will see, you know, buds on those older sticks, but you will see some dieback, and then that's just you would cut back the dieback to where the new where the green is coming out.
I've had them. You know, see the little growth at the top of the stick. So you can't cut it off because you know
No,
what I mean.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
red-
that'll be a leaf, you know, so it'll just you
Okay,
know,
all right.
You won't even see that.
No
It'll
kidding.
just- yep.
See, I didn't
Yeah.
even know.
And it does
Just
grow
leave
from
it.
the
I just
bottom,
kind of let
too,
them.
so.
I just kind of let them handle themselves, and they're
That
beautiful
is-
every year.
That's a good
You
thing
know?
to do. Yeah. So a lot of times things, you know, we do too much sometimes, you know, and
Yes, because
but that's one of the ones.
and with the endless summers, like it's tempting because they get kind of droopy sometimes, and you're just like, I kind of want to shape it up, but you might stunt the blooms. You know,
That's-
and you don't want
yeah.
that
So
because
you
then you're
do
just
your-
gonna have a
Yep.
stick.
wait till spring.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we were talking earlier about planning ahead. Rachel, I always ask you, okay, so what about the seeds? When do you start the seeds in the house? And what's the first thing you start to grow and all that kind of stuff?
Usually we're a little bit out yet, but usually
Yeah.
it's more towards the end of like February, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But a lot of times, like your herb seeds are usually the first things to start. Tomatoes, pepper, or usually more peppers. They take some time to germinate, but right now is a good time to be planning and kind of, you know, getting your seeds and getting ready. And
What about like the things like basil or parsley or, you know, or those kinds of things
you
or
can
whatever?
start them from seed. Parsley sometimes it can be a little bit tougher.
Okay.
It can be a hard one to get it to germinate, but you can start them. They usually take I can't remember about how many days to maturity or for germination, but they do take some time. But maybe mid-February on that kind of stuff. But the thing is the heat more so of the soil than the temperature in the air.
Okay.
So a lot of times if you're starting them inside like a heating mat or something like that. it kinda
Okay, that's what I was going to
helps
ask you.
Speed it up.
And people
Yep.
put them under lights, don't they?
Yes, yeah, because once they germinate, they do need that light to grow. But getting them to germinate is more so the soil temperature
Okay.
than like the light itself. So
Okay, so yeah, and if you're going to start things indoors,
it's a great time to be.
you should be planning that
Yes,
because you have to have the space to do it.
yes,
And
this is true.
And it's a process. Again, and we'll say it's a process.
Yeah, it is, but it is definitely a labor of love. And sometimes will plan a little extra, just knowing that some of them might not germinate, you know, and then a lot of times they all germinate. And then, you know.
So then once you have that, okay, so let's just take it let's dream a little bit. And we're
Yes.
heading into April. And so you have your little stuff you started inside. Now, how do you take it outside? What do you do? How do you do that?
You usually want to kind of harden it off. So on like the days that it's above 50 and kind of nicer and stuff, just set them outside. Let them get used to the wind and the sun and that kind of stuff, and that'll kind of help strengthen them too and really help them grow. But just make sure you bring them back in if it gets cool again. So you
Right.
just kind of want to do that, you know, here and there until it gets nice and they can be safely outside. And usually you want to make sure to don't put them in full sun, like kind of maybe under a canopy or something at first,
Okay.
because the first time they are out in that sun, they get a little bleach. Yeah, they can. I've scorched a couple babies that way before in the past, so lesson learned. But yeah, and you just kind of, and once they start getting their true leaves, which are, the next set of leaves rather than just like the little sprout, that's when they really start to take off. So.
And then you you dig a little hole and you put them in the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the fear of
Water
frost
them?
is past, and just water them in, and stake them if they need to, or, go ahead and put the tomato cage around before you forget, because all of a sudden sometimes it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I know.
it's
You
you.
come out the next day and you're like, what the heck?
The bunny is visiting and
Yes.
eating everything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So,
Oh, let's go. I'm going to go to the phones. We have Al with us. I was just talking about you, sir.
Hello, guys.
hey.
What's up, Al?
Hey, hey, Zach, it's fun listening to the show today because I'm one of those nuts. Honestly, it's what I was doing last year when it hooked me up. I go out in the snow and I start walking around thinking, okay, what am I doing different? What am I changing? All right, because I'm always thinking about, you always have room for flowers and shrubs. Especially flowers. So, last year, Zach, you hooked me up, and what a nice job you did.
I'm glad to hear it, man.
Beautiful. I just hope that weather that we get, I do have the leaves around everything. Just hope that it doesn't affect them, the temperature. But anyways, Rachel, this one might do now. So I have a circular driveway, and I have like a half moon. The bed comes around the circular driveway, then the front straight. And what I've always plant every year are impatiens, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's a shaded sun area. But, every year you keep my impatiens, and it'd be nice to put a perennial there.
Oh, yeah.
So is there a perennial that can get close to an impatient that will hopefully keep that impatient, especially you guys, when I use your fertilizer, those things just explode. Okay, they're beautiful. Now, do you think there will be a perennial that would fill in for an impatient that could still give me that color that I need?
Well, though there are shade plants that would fill in and look like really nice, but they're not going to bloom like an impatient. There's really, especially in the shadier areas, there's not something that's going to bloom continually like that. So unfortunately, there's really not like a good replacement for that. But I mean, there are good, you can do more like the foliage colors and that kind of stuff with shade stuff. But as far as blooming goes and long blooming, there's really not going to be much other than, that's why the annuals are good. But I mean, you can do like coral bells and some other things that are going to have more color, and like pulmonaria, and there are a lot of different options that, and you can kind of stagger your color, but there's not going to be a replacement per se.
Nothing that, right?
Sadly.
I thought that. Well, coral bell, I have coral bells.
Yes, yeah.
Matter of fact, Zach, you hooked me up with more coral bells. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I could stagger the red with the green. I guess that would give it a good look. I don't know. I'm always thinking just to do a little different, start putting a little more perennials.
And yeah, they're
right, a good impatient. It's hard to beat.
It really is, yeah. And I mean, there are great blooming shade perennials that would work in that area. They're just not going to bloom as long, So, and a lot of them are good, like spring bloomers, that kind of stuff. So you'd have to really kind of stagger, and if you wanted something blooming all the time. But yeah, there's nothing like an impatient.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about.
I know,
Did you
be
hear
nice.
us? Did you hear us talking about you earlier?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I missed because I was in and out of the car.
I was just talking about how crazy you are
With your garlic.
With your garlic.
It's a good crazy.
Good crazy. Yeah.
Good crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's already 5 inches tall. Yeah.
Wow.
I put 120 cloves in every year. Just call me and I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What is it? The vampires will never be coming to your house,
Nope.
right?
You are protected.
There's nothing like fresh garlic.
I love it.
Fresh garlic. So.
Same here.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, guys.
Have a good one. Stay
Good
safe
talking
this
to you, Al.
weekend.
Thanks, Al.
I love it. And happy gardening because it's coming. It's getting closer.
It is.
It is, yes.
You're right. Thank you, sir. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Al.
See you later, Al.
Bye-bye.
Uh,
All right, we will take our final break. And again, you can give us a call like Al did, 330-450-1480. It is Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. All right. Of course, this is our final segment of Let's Grow Together. This morning has gone fast.
It
guys.
has. It really has.
Zipping by. And thank you to Al for calling because we were Al. I don't want you don't have to call back, but we were trying to remember because after he was on and told us about his fig tree, we had questions about his fig tree.
Yeah, I honestly
and I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was either.
Because we know that he buried it,
Yes,
right?
which I
mean, how do you, what do you do with a fig tree? You bury, what do you mean bury?
Bury usually by leaves. Like, so you would do like a trench or something, but you and put like organic matter leaves and you know, light stuff, you know, just to kind of protect it from this winter. So, which I'm glad that, you know, he did it this year because we're having some harsh, it's the wind and all that. It's not necessarily the snow, because actually the snow is more of an insulator, but it's that cold wind and that kind of stuff. So
Do you get figs every year?
to be honest, I don't really know. There are a lot of different varieties, and I know there's a lot like a maturity, like a long
it's that
season.
process, like asparagus.
So
for crying out loud.
yeah. So, but they need like a longer. They need a long, season to produce.
Okay,
But I think
okay.
there's like brown turkey and Chicago something or other. But I know that those are ones that are supposed to be more hardy for this area.
Okay.
And then they do usually produce, but they're like later in like towards October.
Yeah.
That they do produce.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because I like figs. But
I love figs.
But
Yeah.
I once again, that's a very high maintenance thing, right?
I'll buy the fig Newtons at the store.
Yeah,
and
the
just
Fig
let the-
Newtons.
He's buying
Let somebody else do the work.
Labor of love.
You can actually buy a real fig in the grocery store. You know?
Yeah.
I've never.
Oh, they're so
I'll be honest with
good.
you. I don't think I've ever eaten like
A real fig?
a real fig.
You-
I've
they're-
only eaten
they're
fig
delicious.
Newtons.
Oh, then yeah. You,
Oh no,
No.
You need to go like to a restaurant that serves
With the
like
honey.
figs, you know, as
with,
an
like, the cheese-
appetizer.
Isn't it like a
Some
okay?
they'll
Yeah.
put like feta cheese.
I would know
Yes.
about
cheese,
that. That sounds
honey,
good.
Oh
and-
yeah, it's
stuff.
really
So-
delicious. You'll
I'll have
love
to step
that.
up my game. with figs.
See, Zach, we'll help you out here. We'll help you out. That's why you're here to learn from the best.
Yes. Bring me in some figs next time, and I'll eat them. I promise.
And apparently, he even drank some wine, and he's not really a wine drinker.
I'm not a big wine guy, but I'll give Al a shout out that his wine that he made was
That's
really
awesome.
good. Thumbs up.
I've never tried to make
I've never tried Al's wine. Have you?
No,
Rachel?
I have
It
not.
was good.
No,
It was really, really
Wow.
good.
Interesting.
Wow, I wonder what it's like.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Thank you for sharing that, Zach. We
You're
appreciate
gonna have to give them a bottle now, Al. I threw you out there. I'm sorry.
I think he probably got the hint. Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. So okay, you're going to be busy plowing, we know, but as you move into like next week and everything, you were saying the trucks are going to come in February. I mean, but February is just around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
this is the 22nd, so
I
we're
know.
just a couple of weeks away from that, right?
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah. It
coming quick.
It does come quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be.
What'll be the first? What'll be the like? Yeah, I mean, is that hard, heavy work? I mean, is that getting those
They're
trees up there?
usually. It depends. A lot of the time, sometimes we're usually the first couple trucks we get are going to be like our big burlap trees, which are sometimes 10 feet tall, 300 pounds. They're big, but honestly, I like doing it. It's maybe we're just crazy, but we all do
You have to
genuinely
like it,
Yeah, you have
yeah.
to like it.
Yeah.
If you didn't enjoy it, then it would be miserable. But it's better. Obviously, it's a little bit better once it starts getting warmer out. But honestly, like I'm happy when it starts rolling again.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're big trees, but I mean, the nicer that they are, the more excited we get for the year because we know we're going to be able to sell them. Obviously, we
Yeah.
see if we see a nice tree show up, we're like, okay, yeah. It helps us get ready for.
Again, we all need that. I mean,
Yeah.
I should come out there and video. I should video you guys unloading trucks.
Come
Yeah.
on out.
I think I want to do that.
We'll be there.
We'll post
Yeah,
it.
I
We'll
was
post
gonna
it.
say.
We'll be there all day.
Chances, yeah.
I'll tell Matt to text me when they're coming, and then we can video. We can get that on, get it up on
Yeah.
our website and social media. And
Absolutely.
It's fun to see it
Check
fill
'em
up
out.
too.
Unfortunately, they're not as pretty as they will be because a lot of the time they're going
Right.
to be sticks. But the evergreens, oh yeah, they already look good. So
yeah, well, see that, and that's I think one of my favorite things to hear Matt talk about because you can tell he likes it really
Yeah.
a whole lot is when he goes to pick what's going to be
yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
seriously, he'll like him and Tyler when they go out, they'll send me pictures, and it's just
Yeah, I'll get
It's
pictures
insane.
too, and I'm like,
It's insane.
Just because of being excited, because I'm like,
It's
rows
like tree
and
sh-
rows
they're
and
tree
rows.
shopping.
Yeah,
They're
It-
tree and bush shopping,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you go there, like I mean, there's you'll have a whole field that's just dedicated to one type of tree.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy to me.
And
you know?
how do you pick them? I mean, I know he knows how to pick them, obviously, because you
Yeah.
guys have such great ones. But like, wouldn't they all like run together after a while?
Yeah, you would think.
I feel like a lot of the time the hard decision is picking like what variety between, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And sometimes there's some varieties of trees that are so similar, but there's just like little tweaks, little differences.
Yeah,
this
they
might get a little
keep
5 feet
reinventing the
bigger.
wheel, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know,
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. So it kind of the decision becomes more convoluted as time goes on because, with what was one option, 15,
now
20 years
4.
ago is now like, 4
Yeah.
or 5.
Yes, yeah.
That's where the difficulty I think comes into play. Like things that are so similar with like minute differences.
And he
you
has
know?
to judge in his mind what he thinks people are going to want to buy.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Exactly. What's
you
the
know?
demand for what? And like,
Yeah.
it's changing. A lot of people's landscapes are changing, especially
it does.
with younger
Yeah,
people. You know
I've
what I
noticed
mean?
that with perennials and stuff
With younger
too.
people, is that what you said?
I think like a lot of people are going with kind of like a minimalist kind of look, easy, straightforward. Whereas
Yeah.
like, my dad like had like a cottage garden kind of vibe when I was
Right,
growing
right.
up, where it was just like
Yeah.
every space that you can utilize for like something was like
Yeah.
used.
But,
you know?
and it used to be, 20 years ago or something, Taxus use the
Oh,
ones
yeah.
you
Oh,
see
you're-
outside, those and, a couple other, Alberta spruce. I mean, we couldn't keep those in stock. And we still sell them and stuff, but not
Yeah.
nearly like we used to.
Yeah.
People
So-
do not like the
Things
use
change.
anymore. They just
No, and everybody always says, I don't want the stuff that the evergreens that my grandma and grandpa
Yeah.
had outside.
That's what we hear.
You know,
It's-
right
it was
away,
my
that's what they
grandma's
were.
plant.
Oh no, that makes me feel so bad.
I know. They
I
do
like
have
it.
a good place. They
They
do.
do.
They really do.
I think it was just
They were
like,
just overused. It was kind of like a song that
overused
got
and
overplayed.
overgrown. Sometimes when you see yews that are like way too big and they haven't been trimmed for a long time, it can be kind of like
Yeah, whoa.
dissuading
Yeah.
from wanting to
Yeah.
have
I
them
have
at your
one.
own place. You know,
That's not good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want it to be, you want it to look fresh and modern,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big point.
it's ever changing. I'm sure in 20 years people will go back to
Oh,
it. You know
yeah.
what I mean? We
Yeah,
always go
everyone.
back-
What's old is new again.
I've noticed a
eventually,
lot
right?
of
Exactly.
I've noticed a lot of like older fashioned natives and like cutting garden kind of things coming back around with perennials.
Yeah.
I've really like plants that I kind of had forgotten about that
Yeah.
people have been asking for
Wow.
again, and it's kind of fun
That's
to see those.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like there's trends that kind of fall off and come back, and it's.
And just like for
anything else.
everybody else, you guys are doing your maintenance work and getting ready and cleaning out closets and
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Doing the winter cleaning.
the winter
So
cleaning
we don't do
and
spring cleaning.
organizing and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes.
Well, I want you, Mr. Zach, to be safe this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Out there doing all the.
And you too, everybody.
Yes,
Stay
yeah.
inside, get ready because it's probably going to be a.
He's like,
doozy.
he's calling for Armageddon here. We're not going to
Armageddon.
let him do that. We could see some.
It's probably not going to be that bad, but yeah, we'll definitely be out. So wave if you see us.
Yeah, out plowing in the Roars trucks, right?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Yes. And Rachel, can you fill us in on the phone numbers and locations for people if they need anything?
We have 2 Roars Nursery locations, 5357 Everhard Road. Their phone number is 330-492-1243. And then 7211 Portage Street in Maslin. Their phone number is 330-499-0101.
All right, very good. Thank you, Zach, for coming in.
Hey,
Rachel,
thanks for having
Yes.
us.
have a good weekend.
All right.
Hey, you too. We'll see you.
Thanks.